Hello friends, this is Rohit Gupta. In this video, I'll going to show you how we can configure single node Hadoop cluster on AWS EC2 instance. The EC2 instance I have already created, so let's log into that. Okay, so here are a few steps which I'm going to um, show you. Like first one is at the OS level configuration, which includes the swap on off and disabling the secure Linux, disabling IPv6 if we are not using that. Okay, and the user equivalence, Java installation. Okay, so that is all at the overside, and after that we will hop into the Hadoop configuration. For that we will have to download it from this Hadoop website, and the basic configuration we will proceed accordingly. So first just check all this which I've already created to save the time. Okay, so let's log in using the root. Okay, so first one is to check the host name and the fully qualified domain name, what is provided by the AWS. So we can say this is the fully qualified domain name. So we'll need to this from whatever we want to. So let's check. Okay, so let's remove and AWS Hadoop. Okay, so next time if when we create it, when we connect to this AWS instance, we'll uh, get the updated Hadoop hostname information like what we can see over here. Okay, okay, so let's see what is a fully qualified domain name. So that is our AWS Hadoop. Okay, that's fine. So let's move to the second one to check what is the status of swap, whether it's on or off. Okay, so no response. That is right now it's off. So disabling the secure Linux. So let's see whether we have sysconfig. Okay, so I don't want to go to install it because anyways I need to disable this secureness. So that let's um, leave it as it is. Now point D is to disable the IPv6 as we are not going to use IPv6. We are using IPv4. Okay, so let's disable it into the syscontrol.conf configuration file. Okay, let's copy it. So this settings in configuration file will ensure to disable IPv6. So IPv6, if as we can see, like we have IP6 information over here as well. So we don't need to do it. We don't need it. Okay, so let's do it to disable anyways. 6. So as I mentioned over here, the output should be 1. So it's not 1. It's 0, which is still enable. Okay. So still it's 0. That means we need to reboot the server um, to take it into consideration. So the system is restarting now. Let's connect it. That is up. Okay, so now the output which we can see is 1, which is disabled. Okay, so let's move further to set the user equivalence. We will record it as we are going to run all the Hadoop services into the same node, which is like a data node, name node, secondary name node, all the services which we are going to use on the same node. So that's why we will require it. Enter, enter. Okay, let's go to SSH. So here is authorized key. So I made an entry into the authorized key. Let's connect it. AWS Hadoop. Yes. Next time it should not ask me about the server credential. Okay, then again try to connect. Okay, so it's not asking me anymore. Okay, that's fine. So user equivalency is already also got set up. Now we need the Java. So what is Java installed? This is a new one, totally new machine. It was EC2 machine, so no Java installed as such. So I have already documented how we can go for it to save the time. So right now it's downloading and will install as well. I have made this three line command into one line. So there are few agreements which we have to passed in order to install the Oracle Java. Let's open the another session to proceed with another steps parallelly to save the time. Okay, we also I mean after that we'll have to go for the Hadoop site configuration, which will require to download this Hadoop software. So let's download it me parallelly. Okay, so it's downloaded, as we can see Hadoop. Okay, so as the Java is still on the way to get it and download completely, so let's unzip that. Okay, so Java has been installed. Let's see the Java. Okay, so now we can see the installed Java version is 901. Okay, at the same time Hadoop is also untar, so we can see Hadoop. That's fine. That looks fine. Okay, so now we are good at the moment. Over here we have done these steps so far, like We configure the host name, swap is off, we have disabled the IPv6, we have configured the user equivalents, we have configured the Java, okay, we have downloaded the Hadoop software, we have untarred Hadoop software, okay, now we'll need these groups as well as user, um, okay, created on the machine because we have to manage the Hadoop services, right? Okay, let's okay, so Hadoop group is created. Now create the SDFS user, yarn user, MapReduce user. So these user will require to manage the services. Add user hyphen in group. Okay, password could be your wish. Full name. Room. Let's create the password. No, no, no. Sorry for that. It's already created. Fine. So if we go and have check into the slash home, then we can see a lot of which is SDFS user, MapReduce user, Ubuntu which is already by default user, and the yarn which we have created, three users which we have created. This is by mistake, so let's delete that one first. Okay, so users is created. Now create the data directories, name node, secondary name node, data node, temp. Okay, changing the permission of SDFS, log location. Okay, we can do this since we have only one Hadoop version, so we can omit this. Okay, let's change the ownership of the SDFS. So log location. Great. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's create um, a location where our Hadoop home will reside. Opt yarn. Okay. Okay, so let's copy whatever the content we have untar to this directory. Cd Hadoop. Let's open a second session. Okay, the size is 862 MB. So, okay. So file size is similar. That means all the content has been copied to this new one. Okay. So let's check it. Okay, so that looks fine. Now, log into SDFS user and just let's configure the rest of the required environments. Okay, and that is root, so we have to change it. Okay, so it's changed now. Okay, so regarding the directories, if we talk about etc, then we have all the informant files, default files, and the site XML files for each Hadoop environment, SDFS and SDFS environment, um, yarn environment, map reduce environment, which we have to configure. So we will see over here. So this is the core file of the Hadoop environment. SDFS site. Okay. Let's configure first the Hadoop environment. Okay, so Java home we have to provide over here. So I will copy it from my past configuration which I have already downloaded to save the time. First of all, we have to check the Java over here. Okay, that is same. So we can copy this. What else? Java home Hadoop configuration directory. Configuration directory should be the one which we just created, and we have stored the binaries of the Hadoop. The log directories where on the log will store for the troubleshooting purpose. We have created it. This is a log directory. I think that should be okay. And Hadoop home. Okay, environment is set up for Hadoop. Let's set up the core site of the Hadoop. This is basically the configuration. We need to copy this. What is the default file system? Temporary directory and the static user information which we have to configure. Okay, so while we configure this into the environment file or the site .xml file, so please make sure about the white spaces which we are providing, as well as the properties, um, because uh, I have spent a lot of time, like if I miss something to configure properly, like these brackets or this um, dot, or might be I have placed underscore instead of this, then what happened? Uh, the Hadoop services uh, will not start. In that case, you have to spend a lot of time to debug and to go on Google, like checking why the Hadoop throws the error. Okay, so please make sure about um, the the while characters or the white space or the opening bracket or closing bracket. Otherwise, you will end up spending a lot of time on debugging why the service is not working, which I have faced a lot of time. Okay, so if we check it, then SDFS XML file, I mean SDFS site.xml file, um in which we can mention the replication, like by default is 3, but since it's a single node cluster, um, so we have provided the replication uh, is 1, so it will not replicate anymore to another node. So this is the name node directory. Okay, I have provided the location. Checkpoint directory would be the secondary name node. Okay, and data node directory is sdfs/dean, which we have created. Let's configure the yarn environment. So Hadoop yarn. Okay, so Hadoop yarn would be same as the Hadoop home. What else? Okay, so user for Hadoop is Yarn, and configuration directory is also the Hadoop etc/etc Hadoop, where all the environment file resides. Java home. So let's mention the Java home. Yarn log directory. Okay, so I think that's all. So let's save this file as well. Let's save the sites.xml file. Copy this. Okay, since I have configured this on my local machine, so I have provided this much of configuration. Let's mention this. So this is yarn.node manager awk service, which is MapReduce tuple. We are using the MapReduce. This is a shuffle class. Minimum allocated, which is by default 1 GB. Max should be the same, which is 1024. This is um, the freeway account, then will not get more than 1 GB of RAM. So this setting is for the scheduler, okay, which Yarn provide. Uh, the minimum maximum limit, which is 1 GB, and what should be the node manager, resource utilization limit. Let's save this. Now time to set configuration for map reduce. Let's copy this configuration. Okay, so our map reduce framework is Yarn, and how much map can take the memory. So since we have only 1024, which is 1 GB, so let's reduce this to 5.2 MB. The same is for reducer. This size should be lesser than what we are providing over here. Okay, so make sure about it. Let's save this. Let me remind one more time, whatever the services which you are, whatever the values which you are providing over here, make sure uh, there should not be any white space, or the opening and closing bracket should be proper. Otherwise you'll end up debugging a lot of time um, in the services if it's not work. One more thing, make sure about this map reduce um, awk services. Okay, it should not be dot over here. Okay, most time we have seen like it's dot, so your data node will not get up. Okay, also let's configure the nmon file. Let's copy this configuration um, values. First of all is Hadoop home, which is nothing but the location where we have copied the binary files of Hadoop, which we have downloaded. The map reduce home, which is common, SDFS home, yarn home, configuration directory, the path. Let's copy this. Okay, so everything looks good. Let's save this and execute. Okay, so now we see like everything is configured. Now it's time to um, format for the name node. Let's go to the bin. Oops, something is weird. Okay, so it says cannot create directory, which means we have not um, set the permission properly. This should be the reason. Let's connect another session. Okay, ln-d var data. Okay, so it's root. Let's change this cho. That's changed now. Let's take a look for the log file as well. So it's root right now, as we see over here. Okay, so as it says, var dot data Hadoop SDFS name node has been successfully formatted. Okay, if we go up and see, this is the host name, this is the IP. Okay, let's move further. Let's start the rest of the services like start, DFS, SH. It will first start the what happened. Something weird. Let's figure out. Okay, I think we have not set the user equivalence for Hadoop user as well. So okay, no issue. Let's do the same thing once again. Cat pub authorized tree. Okay, so user equivalence set for this Hadoop user as well. Now let's start the DFS once again. Come on. Okay, so data node is up, but rest of the service is not up, like name node and secondary name node. Freak, it's Hadoop test right now. So something else, something. Where should be the problem? Okay, might be we have did something wrong to somewhere else. Okay, sorry for that. It's since I copied, so I copied the wrong one. I forget to, you know, to change the host name. So this is the host name, AWS Hadoop, which I forget to modify over here. Anyways, let's We format the new node. Uh, JPS, which we use to see all the Hadoop services. We can see over here the name node, secondary name node, data node is up and running. Let's start the yarn. Okay, so node manager, resource manager will be up when we start the yarn. Also the map reducer, start history server, JPS. Okay, now we can see node manager, job history server, resource manager for yarn is up, data node, name node, and secondary node is up. Okay, so now we can uh, see like we have uh, uh, perform various things to set up the Hadoop in single node. We have the OS level. We set up the host name. We disable the swap since it's already disabled, so no need. So we have not disabled it, so it's already disabled. Secureness is also already disabled. We have disabled IPv6. We configured user equivalence as well. Okay, we installed the latest Java, which is 9. We downloaded the Hadoop. We created the Hadoop user. We created the Hadoop group. We created yarn, HDFS, map reduce user to handle the Hadoop services. We created the data directories. We created the log directories. Okay, let's see the logs.